Hey guys, it's Dermy Booster Crazy here, and I want to talk about some of the core set spoilers. Now, I've not looked at much of the set myself, so I'm going to start from the beginning. This might be a long video, so I appreciate anyone who's listening in. So let's have a look at the three Chandras. So to start off, we've got Chandra Novice Pyromancer. It's a 4 mana uncommon. +1 gets plus elementals you control get +2 until the end of the turn. Seems pretty nice. -1 add 2 mana to your pool. Again, pretty nice, can be used in a lot of decks, especially with Commander coming up. Chandra Novice Pyromancer deals 2 damage to any target, -2. So you can take that down twice, so you can deal 4 damage in total before she's removed. Seems pretty nice. We've got a lot of small creatures coming out, so it looks like that'll do well for an uncommon. The rare Chandra, 3 mana, Chandra Acolyte of Flame. 0, put a loyalty counter on each red planeswalker you control. That's actually pretty nice. We've got a lot of red planeswalkers at the moment. We're going to have these 3 Chandras. We've got Sarkhan, Bolas, and a good few others like Ral's. 0, create 2 1/1 red elemental creatures tokens. They gain haste, sacrifice them at the beginning of the end step. Alright, so that's quite similar to some of the old Chandras where she put 3 1s into play and they gained haste and sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. I think that was Chandra Pyromancer from Shadows. -2, you may cast target instant or sorcery with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard. If that card would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. That's pretty nice. This seems like it'll be a really good planeswalker for either mono red or blue red Phoenix in standard. Being able to cast instants and sorceries for again. Yeah, seems really nice. Let's have a look at 6 mana Chandra. Spells. This spell can't be countered. Okay, that's pretty nice. Really good against some of these control decks that are out right now, like Esper control with the fairies. Each opponent gets an emblem at the beginning of upkeep. This emblem deals 1 damage to you. It's a +2. That's pretty nice, and we don't have many ways to interact with emblems, so that could get really out of control. Seems like it would be really good in the big red strategy, even just in a planeswalker deck, being able to deal additional damage just by +2. -3, Chandra Awaken deals 3 damage to each non-elemental creature. It's pretty nice and it works quite well with some of these other Chandras because they're all elemental based. It's a nice board sweeper as well for a -3, takes care of a lot of creatures in standard. -X, Chandra Awakened Inferno deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. So -5. That takes care of a lot of stuff. You can take care of a Bolas, small Teferi, big Teferi. Yeah, that's a pretty nice minus ability, and it looks like it'd be really good in a standard set. It also looks like all 3 of these Chandras are going to be really good for Commander play as well. Mono red, quite a nice way to go for Commander. You can also put them into Planeswalker decks. There's a lot of playability in these cards here. So let's have a look at some of the uncommons and commons that have been coming out in the actual set now. So get Angel of Vitality. 3 mana, 2/2 flyer. If you would gain life, you gain that much life +1 instead. Reminds me of like Winding Constrictor when it used to put 1/1 counters on down and then gave it an additional 1, so that seems pretty nice. Angel of Vitality gets +2/+2 as long as you have 25 life or more. That's pretty nice in a Commander deck. That's going to be really good starting out in 40 life. So it's already a 4/4 for 3 mana. And if you're playing it in a black-white life gain deck, that could get really out of hand. Next card we have is Scheming Symmetry. So 1 mana black. Choose 2 target players. Each of these players searches the library for a card, then shuffles the library and puts that card on top. Okay, so that could be really interesting. I don't know how much standard play it will see. Maybe in like a mono black aggro deck, being able to find some really powerful cards. Like at the moment we've got Vraska's Contempt. Even some of your creatures could be coming nice instead of getting flooded out. I think it will see play more in likes of maybe mill decks, control. Maybe I like it, being able to search your library for your win conditions. So it seems like it could be a strong card. I think it will see more Commander play than it will standard though. But I could be totally wrong. Let's have a look at the flavour text. 1 for you and 1 for me, what could be more fair? That's quite on point with that card actually. I quite like reading the card's flavours text because it gives you a wee bit more insight into the story and the kind of things that could happen and the card's artwork. So next couple of cards we'll have a look at. Wakeroot Elemental, 6 mana, 4 and double green. It's elemental, so it's working well with those Chandras we've seen earlier. It's a 5/5 for, what is that, 5 mana? All green, untap target lands you control, it becomes a 5/5 elemental creature with haste, it's still a land. Wow! Right now this could be really interesting in the mono green deck that's going around with Nissa. It's quite easy to pay for. You slam in Nissa down turn 5, pay this for what, 3 green? And then you've got maybe another 3 green to make a 5/5 and a 3/3 in that turn. So what, you're getting 13 power onto the board if you've got Nissa in play. Wow! That could be really interesting to see if that'll see play in the mono green deck. It's actually quite a scary thought just thinking about it now. I'm not looking forward to seeing that in standard. Again, I wonder if it will play. We'll find out once core set's released. Looking forward to the set. It could be an interesting release. We'll have the London Mulligan come into play as well. So it's really going to shake up standard. What's the next card? Creeping Trailblazer. Red and a green. 2/2. Other elemental creatures you control get +1/0. 2 red green gets +1/+1 until the end of a turn for each elemental you control. So again, it works really well with these Chandras and this Wakeroot elemental. You know, to put all these elementals into play. It looks like we're going to have an elemental EDH deck coming out soon as well now. This is looking like an interesting set just on these cards alone. Quite looking forward to the pre-release then. Dread Presence. 3 and a black for a 3/3. That's okay. When a swamp enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. That's pretty nice. Could go really well in Mono Black Devotion for EDH. It's pretty good in just a mono black deck. Dread Presence deals 2 damage to any target and you gain 2 life. So those are some interesting abilities. You can only choose 1. That's quite difficult to choose. So like in the early game you probably want to draw cards and lose life. And then when it gets to the late game you've got this reach ability, being able to deal 2 damage and gain 2 life. So it's going to give mono black in standard a really good reach. Maybe bring up the presence in it as well. Be interesting to see how it fits into other types of black decks. Maybe Grixis Mid, quite nice in a white black deck as well, just to give some more presence in some long game. Really going to look forward to seeing it in Mono Black Devotion for EDH. I think it'll give it much stronger. Cryptic Caves. Tap, add a colourless. Okay. 1 and sacrifice it, draw a card, activate this ability if you control 5 or more lands. See, I'm not keen on these 5 or more lands. Like, I much prefer cards that give you consistent draw. Having to sacrifice this is a bit weak, I would say. Like, the only place I can see this maybe play is EDH, just for some utility. I'm not keen on it myself. Like, it just reminds me of Temple of the False Gods, where you have to have 5 lands just to activate it. So I'm not entirely sure how much this will see play. Let's have a look at some more cards. Oh, went way too far. Devout Decree. 1 and a white, sorcery. Exile target creature or planeswalker that's black or red. Scry 1. So this reminds me of Celestial Purge, which is quite nice to see in standard. Being able to deal with something on the cheap, and then you're actually getting to scry 1 as well. So I think this could see playing a lot of white sideboards. We've got a lot of red and black planeswalkers that are problematic, like Zabolas, and we've got some creatures like Krenko, Legion's War Boss, that's going to be really problematic coming up. So that's just a quite nice card and I really like it. What's this? What's the flavour text? It's not punishment, I'm simply making things as they should be. Seraph Skyblade. That's quite nice. I like that card. I'm looking forward to seeing this see play. Chandra's Spitfire. 2 and a red for a 1/3 elemental. Flying. That's pretty nice, just on its own. Don't see many flying elementals that are cheaper. You always tend to see them like 4 or 5 mana. When an opponent is dealt non-combat damage, Chandra's Spitfire gets +3 until the end of turn. Oh, that just makes me think this is going to see playing like a mono red build. Wizard's Lightning, dealing damage, then you're given this +3, so it becomes a 4/3 flyer for 3 mana. It might be a wee bit slow for mono red, but that's still a pretty nice card for their build. Yarok's Fenlurker, double black. Horror, 1/1. Uncommon. When Yarok's Fenlurker enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a card from their hand. 2 and a black, gets +1/+1 until the end of the turn. That's quite an interesting ability, that each opponent exiles a card from a hand when this enters the battlefield. So if you can recur that, that's going to be a 2-for-1 every time. Just, I don't know how many ways there is to reanimate this in Standard. I know we've got Aid the Fallen at the moment that can bring it back to hand. We've got the Flip Bolus that can return a creature when it's on its Planeswalker side, but that's a lot of investment just to get that into play. The 3 mana ability gives it a little bit more playability, I would say. But it's an interesting card. I don't know how much we'll see. Again, I don't know how much Standard play we'll see, but I like the card itself. I've always liked cards that have this into the battlefield and give your opponent something. Sorry. I like these cards that are 2-for-1 that do something to your opponent and give you card advantage. So like say as next card I've compared it to is the 4 mana Nicol Bolas. Enters the battlefield, your opponent discards a card. I do like these cards, but I don't know how much this will see play. Next card we have Chandra's Regulator. 1 and a red. Whenever you activate a loyal ability of a Chandra Planeswalker, you may view one and copy that ability. You may choose new targets for that copy. Wow, that's pretty nice. For a 2 mana artifact, it's pretty nice. So what, if we go back down to one of these Chandras, you go turn 5, play that artifact, turn 6, have this in play. Even maybe turn 7, have the artifact in play, then you plus Chandra and copy it. So you're getting 2 emblems for one uptick. Using this Chandra here, we could create a couple of elementals. So you get 4 elementals with haste. Wow, that card is strong. And then you've got to think of all the other Chandras that have been out, like a 4 mana Planeswalker, Chandra Touch of Defiance, where +1 you can flip cards and pay their cost. Don't think that one will see play, but even just that Chandra's -3, dealing 4 damage to target creatures, pretty nice. Copying that, dealing it twice, you can get rid of either 8 power or 2 4s. This is a pretty nice card. What's the rest of the ability? 1 and tap it, discard a mountain card or a red card, draw a card. So let's also get a loot ability on it. Wow. Yeah, I think this will see heavy play. Even though it's a legendary artifact, if we look at like the Vivian's Artbowl that's just come out recently, that card's been seeing a good amount of play. Even though it's only a couple of copies, it's got some reach. This card reminds me of the same ability. Wow, that's just so strong. Wonder what decks will see playing that. Maybe mono red. Definitely, this is definitely an EDH card. I will see a lot of play just even in a red deck. You don't even have to have Chandras in it, but if you're playing EDH, why not have Chandra? Like, I'm building a new EDH deck myself, and even I'm like that. Wow, I want to put this in it. Just looting away cards that you don't need and drawing for 2 mana, and it's an artifact, so it's harder to deal with. That ability kind of reminds me of Key to the City. You discard a card, and then when it untaps, you could pay 2 to draw a card. So yeah, that's a pretty nice artifact. Cavalier of Flame. 2 triple red, so it's 5 mana for a 6/5. That's pretty nice. It's a mythic, so hopefully this has got a really good ability on it. 1 and a red, creatures you control get +1/0 and gain haste until the end of the turn. Wow, that is strong. It's a bit heavy in the mana curve though. When it enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards and draw that many cards. Yep, I like those abilities, being able to just ditch a handful with lands and then draw that many cards, so that's pretty nice. When Cavalier of Flame dies, it deals X damage to each opponent and each Planeswalker they control, with X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. Holy... wow. So if you're playing a deck like Lord Windgrace and you're just pitching bunches of lands, and then someone uses a Wrath of God and this card dies, you could be dealing up to... let's go 6 or 7 damage just on this card alone. Even decks that like to self-mill, so you could get a lot of damage out of this card. I think this is going to be really good in EDH. Don't know how much play it will see play in Standard. Like, even if you don't get the third ability, the first 2 abilities are pretty nice. It's also an elemental, Wow! They're really pushing this elemental theme, aren't they? Just hopefully there is an elemental commander that's come out in this set as well, or else you're going to have a real hard time building it, aren't you? As I said, I've not seen much of the set, but right now this is looking like a really good set just on these bunch of cards. Hopefully I'm not making this video too long. I can't tell the timer. I'm using new software, so we'll see how this video goes and people can give me feedback on it, and I'll try and tweak it so that it comes out better. Let's move on. Chandra's Embercat. 1 in a red for a 2/2. This is a common, so it might not be great, but could be see a lot playing limited. So add a red, spend this mana all in to cast an elemental spell or a Chandra Planeswalker. Yeah, that's a bit tough. I think this will see maybe play in EDH just for a red mana ramp, which we don't often see. It's pretty nice on that element, but apart from that, I don't think we'll see much standard play. Could be really good in limited, like if you open one of those 3 Chandras, you then get this to ramp it out. If we go back down to the bottom, we've got the 3 mana rare Chandra. If you open that, you play that turn 2. You've then got Chandra with a mana up. You could even play this on turn 3, and then you've got another ramp to get out onto your turn 5, turn 6 spells. So yeah, okay. Could maybe see play. Maybe a Chandra tribal theme. We have seen Gideon tribal decks before, so maybe we could have Chandra this time. Let's move on. Get another mythic. Rennie Angel Rebirth. It's Naya colours, so that's pretty nice. Don't have a lot of Naya colours for legendary creatures. As far as I'm aware, somebody can probably fix me on that and educate me a bit better. Angel, wow. We don't have a lot of Naya Angels. One of the guys I know, he loves to build Angels decks, so he might love this card. Flying 5/4. Other multicolored creatures you control get +1. Oh, okay, that's pretty nice. So you're buffing up other multicolored. So seems like a big multicolored theme there. Really good as a multicolored commander. Whenever a multicolored creature you control dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Wow, that's got an Aurelia ability for creatures. Sorry, not Aurelia. The feather deck, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry, getting my cards mixed up there. Feather ability instead of the other one, but that's quite a strong ability. So like Naya, listen to Naya colours you could play as multicolored. Oh, can't think of any at the moment. Is there anyone here that could maybe give me assistance? Nope. Let's see just from this one. Well, Feather is the one I can think of right now. Red to white. What becomes a 4/4 angel that then gives you your instants and sorceries that target it and rebound as well, basically. Whenever another multicolored, that is really strong. Wow, we could see a Naya deck built around this, maybe in standard. Just wow. Like, I've seen 5-colour Niz, the Mizzet decks running around that are all multicolored. This could fit pretty nicely into it, even though Niv Mizzet can't grab it. If you draw this card and then get, like, say these cards out, Knight of Autumn, maybe Hostage Taker, although it doesn't fit in the colours, so if you're playing 5 for a commander deck, if you're playing 5-colour standard deck, like the Niv Mizzet deck, it's going to be really strong. Putting Hostage Taker, Knight of Autumn, Thief of Sanity, these types of cards back in your hand and then being able to replay them, and your opponent's losing out on their creature destruction spells. So it seems pretty nice. It's quite a strong card. Wonder how many people build EDH decks around this. Pretty interesting to see this style of deck. So I'm looking forward to maybe giving that a shot. Let's go on to the next card. Flame Sweep. 3 mana, 2 in a red, instant. Flame Sweep deals 2 damage to each creature except for creatures you control with flying. Okay, it reminds me of Fiery Cannonade, where it done 2 damage to each non-pirate creature. So it's another board sweeper for red. it doesn't hit your own flying creatures. Was there any flying creatures in here that it could... Yeah, there we go. 1/3, even though it only deals 2 damage, it's not going to really affect this. But it's still a pretty nice sweeper, especially against these smaller decks like White Weenie and catching like Jaylight Rangers and Mythfolk Branchwalkers when they're a bit smaller. Even likes of your Knights from Dominaria, Knight of Malice and Knight of Grace, this is a pretty good card. It's also pretty good considering the fact that once rotation comes, Red's not going to have many sweepers because we lose Star of Extinction and Fiery Cannonade. So it's pretty nice to see that they're bringing out another kind of red sweeper effect. Plus against these like elemental decks, I think that'll be a good sweeper. Unless you're playing it in an elemental deck, then I don't know what you're doing. Disfigure. Wow, they've reprinted that. Target creature gets -2/-2 until the end of the turn. That's pretty nice. So 1 mana instant, kind of quite similar to the Fungal card, where it gave a creature -1/-1 and gave you a sapling token. So it's kind of a similar version to that. Doesn't give you the creature, but it still gives you the kill effect, which is pretty nice. Quite like reprints like this. What we got next? So Corpse Knight, white and a black, Zombie Knight. Okay, so it's a zombie, so already I'm thinking about white black zombies. Another creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. So yeah, that's really going to work with, let me remember from Amkit, was it Wayward Zombie? It's 2 mana white, or the white black 2/2 that whenever another zombie creature you control enters the battlefield, your opponent loses 1 and you gain 1. So yeah, those 2 would work in what's the word? Candrum? Maybe someone can clarify me on that. But I quite like that card already. White black. Basically kind of aristocrat style deck maybe. Fits into Mardu aristocrats in standard, because we've got like Judith and things like that. So yeah, this could see play in standard. Seems like a really strong card for 2 mana. Have another creature in its battlefield, each opponent loses 1. Yeah, if you're playing a really heavy tokens deck, that's going to be strong. Like, kind of reminds me of when we were back in Kaladesh, the white-black stockpile deck, where you're making a bunch of Cerbos and trying to get a massive board presence. Although this will have a kind of different element where you're just trying to get your opponent's life total down as much as possible while going wide and then just finishing them off. Got a couple of more reprints coming out. We've got another Thrashing Brontodon coming back. I quite like this with the amount of enchantments and artifacts that are going to be kicking about in standard. We're going to have Chandra's Regulator, Nissa's, Vivian's Arcbow. Then we've got the other enchantments that like the Divine Visitation and things like that might see play. Negate's always a good reprint to see, just keeping decks in check. So somebody can't just decide to build like Storm if it's possible in standard, which I very much doubt it will be. Atomus, the All-Seeing, Sphinx. See, I've noticed that Wizards of the Coast really likes the Sphinx in their Hydras. There always seems to be a minimum of 1 in most sets. They're quite an interesting creature type, but I think sometimes they go over the top with them. Especially Sphinxes, they always seem to be high mana costed. This one's 6 mana and it's triple blue. It's a 4/5 flyer. 2 and a blue, tap, draw 2 cards and discard card. Okay, that's a pretty nice effect. So it's got a built-in Charter Course. When Atomus All-Seeing deals damage to an opponent, you may reveal your hand. If cards with at least 6 different converted mana costs are revealed this way, that player loses the game. That's an interesting mechanic. I've seen a lot of these over the last few years that make your opponent lose the game. Like you've got the Bolus Ultimate at the current moment, then you had Mechanized Production, and a couple of other ones like that. You've had like the Liliana's Demonic Contract card. So it's an interesting way to try and win the game. I've always found these types of cards pretty hard to get going though. Especially if you need 6 different converted mana costs. Like you would need maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then another 6 drop in your hand at this point. if you want to slam that down on turn 6. It'd be an interesting deck to see how it is built, but I think it's going to be really tough to get this ability going. Again, I could just be totally wrong and someone just breaks the card, showing me how good it is, but I'm not keen on this type of card. Let's move on. Unsummon. Blue, return target creature to its owner's hand. Now this is pretty nice. It's another reprint from a good few sets ago, but instant speed bounce a creature to its owner's hand is always pretty nice. Such a big tempo swing. Like if you're having to recast a card you've just played and your opponent just slams a bomb, they are in so much control of the game. And if you're playing a good couple of copies of this, it could really tempo your opponent out. With mono blue still being in standard at the moment, I think this could be a really good card for them. However, it's going to be rotating out soon, so I wonder how it will fit into that style of deck after rotation. But Unsummon, always a really nice card to see. Let's go on to Ironroot Warlord. 1 green and white for an X5. Its power is equal to number of creatures you control. Okay, so this is kind of reminding me of Voice of Resurgence, where it was a XX, but at least this time it's got a nice heavy toughness, so it's going to be harder to kill. Although it won't have the secondary effect of making the elemental when it died, once its other ability. 5 mana, make a 1/1 white soldier token. So as I was talking about with this Corpse Knight, this could be a really nice card to put in an Abzan token style build, where you play this turn 3 and you have this in turn 2. Try and protect this for a turn 4, get to turn 5 and start making 1/1 soldiers. And then if you've got something maybe like Dawn of Hope, you can make more tokens and you're gaining life off those ones because they have lifelink, and when you do you can draw cards. So it gives you quite a good late game plan. And then if you're playing it with Divine Visitation as well, you can turn these into 4/4 angels instead. So it could be interesting to see if we get Abzan tokens build back. As I said, I'm really liking the look of the set. It looks like quite a strong core set. I'm just trying to figure out what these names are here for. Seth Manfield. Oh, okay, so these must be the people who got the reveal cards on. So wizards. I think most of these are going to be wizards, aren't they? Twitter. Okay, that was nice. So this is us starting again to all the Magic players that are getting their spoiler cards. So just try to figure out who got this one. Was this Seth? It's a pretty nice card to get as a spoiler. I quite like how you get Magic pros and things getting spoilers. Seems like another interesting point to Magic. Empyrean Eagle. 1, a white and a blue. It's a bird spirit. Flying, other creatures you control with flying get +1/+1, so it's a 2/3 Lord for flyers. And it's a spirit. Wow. It just seems like blue-white spirits in Moderns just got another Lord effect, sorry, excuse me. It's a nice card. I don't know if it'll take any spots in the blue-white spirits deck in Modern, but we could maybe see a spirits deck in Standard if there is enough of them. I know we've still got Supreme Phantom in play at the moment, which is a 1/4 that gives your other spirits +1/+1, so it makes this a 3/4 flyer for 3, and it would make that one a 2/5. Wonder if there's any other spirits in Standard. I might need to look that up for the next video, see if we can maybe get a spirits deck built in Standard. I quite like spirits, they're a fun mechanic. When I was playing back in Eldritch Moon and Shadows of Innistrad block, playing with Spell Queller and Reflector Mage was so good. Such a tempo style deck. Made your opponent have to really work around all these types of cards. So if we can maybe build a spirits deck on the same, like you've got the Unsummon, so you play this turn 3 or 4, keep up Unsummon to bounce your opponent's flyers, because we've still got Rekindling Phoenix and things like that in Standard, so these cards will struggle to get around them if they're still played. But we could see some really strong spirit decks. I'll do a couple more and then end this video because it's probably coming up on 15 minutes or so. Alright, so let's do this row. Ajani, Strength of the Pride. 2 double white. So our mythic comes in on 5 loyalty. You gain, so it's +1 as you gain life equal to the number of creatures you control, plus the number of planeswalkers you control. Okay, so that's an interesting mechanic. Wonder how that will see play. Gaining life is always nice. This could fit into a Super Friends deck in EDH, being able to give your basically your planeswalkers lifelink. Well, we've got Sorin for that as well. So yeah, that's quite interesting. It's -2 is make a 2/2 white cat soldier token named Ajani's Pridemate with whenever you gain life but a 1/1 counter on Ajani's Pridemate. So we've basically got another Ajani's Pridemate reprint, but it's on a -2. That's interesting. And it works really well with Ajani's +1, although you can only trigger it once, just off this card itself. So that'll probably see heavy play in like a mono white deck after rotation, because you're still going to have the Ajani's Pridemate and the +1 to make a massive Pridemate. Hopefully, if they're still playing like the blue-white aggro deck, you can keep it protected like Dovin's Veto. What's Ajani's last ability? 0. If you have 15 life or more than your starting life total, exile Ajani's Strength of the Pride and each artifact and creature your opponent controls. So in standard, if you have got to 35 life, it's just exile your opponent's creatures and artifacts. Yeah, I'm not really keen on that last ability. Like, it could be strong against a heavy deck that's just went wide against you. Like, so if what was mentioned with Abzan tokens, if they've got a really wide board and you're struggling to get through, you can wipe their board for a 0, but then you're losing your Ajani as well. So yeah, I'm not really keen on the 0 effect of Ajani. Seems like the other 2 abilities are probably see a lot more play than that last ability, because it's not really that strong. Yeah, it could wipe your opponent's board and then you kill them with a massive Pridemate, but I think it's going to be hard to do that effectively. But overall, it's a pretty nice mythic, and it'll probably end up seeing play at some point. Octoprophet, 3 and a blue for common, 3/3, enters the battlefield, scry 2. That's a pretty nice card. I think it'll see more limited play than anything else. Like, drafting this is going to be really strong in these blue decks for draft and sealed. Being able to scry 2 and fix your next couple of draws is always nice. Next we've got another reprint, which is Disenchant, 1 and a white for destroy target artifact or enchantment. Again, this will be pretty nice with likes of the Chandra's artifact that's coming out soon. Chandra's Regulator. Whenever you activate a loyal ability of a Chandra Planeswalker. Yep. So being able to instant speed destroy that, it's going to be pretty nice. Like, with cards like the Immortal Sun as well being in standard at the current time, this is going to be a really good answer to that. And the last card for this video is going to be Thought Distortion. 4 and a black. Spell can't be countered. Okay, really nice start. It's going to be really annoying for these control type decks or the mono blue decks. Target opponent reveals their hand. Exile all non-creatures, non-land cards from that player's hand and graveyard. Wow! So we've actually got some graveyard interaction in this card, as well as getting rid of all non-creature, non-land cards. That's really good against control decks. It's going to be a lot tougher for control decks when this set comes out. Being able to find their game plans, because their hand is just going to be totally stripped. If you can somehow ramp this out, get it out on maybe turn 3 or turn 4, like these Nissa decks or the Nexus of Fate decks, even though you might not be able to play it in that style of deck. The other deck I'm thinking about is Sultai, that maybe wants to play this. Just being able to strip your opponent of all their non-creature, non-land spells, like of Teferis. Yeah, that could see some play. I don't think it'll see a lot though, due to its high mana cost. But it's still a pretty nice card. And that's going to wrap it up for this spoilers video, or set review, whatever you want to associate it with. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it. And if you like the video, please subscribe.